What if the heavy feeling you woke up with today wasn't actually yours to carry all by yourself? What if your exhaustion isn't a sign of weakness, but just the result of you trying to hold together all these things that only God was ever meant to handle? You felt it this morning, didn't you? And it wasn't even because the morning itself was particularly hard. It was just somewhere in that quiet space before your phone started buzzing with notifications. You felt that low, familiar weight settling into your chest. The kind of weight you've been lugging around for so long now that you've almost forgotten it's not supposed to be there. You didn't mention it to anyone. You probably won't either. You'll just go ahead and pour your coffee, check your messages, and show up for everybody around you, just like you always do, because that's simply who you are. But today, before the rush of all that begins, I want you to hear something that I truly believe you needed to stumble across this morning. You are not falling apart. You are being held. Isaiah 41:10 puts it like this: "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you." He didn't say, "I might help you." He didn't say, "I'll help you if you earn it." He said, "I will." That promise, it was written specifically for the tired. It's for the people who are somehow still standing after life threw everything it had at them to try and bring them down. It's for you on a morning exactly like this one. So before we go a single step further, I just need you to pause, take one really slow breath, and actually receive that. Because what we're about to walk through together today was designed specifically for exactly where you are right now. Can I ask you something really honest? When was the last time someone just sat with you? Not to fix your problems, not to rush you towards some quick answer, but just to literally sit with you in the middle of it all. Most people in your life only see the version of you that keeps pushing forward. They see the composed version, the dependable one, the friend who says, "I'm fine," so naturally that you've almost started buying into it yourself. But there's a whole other version of you that hasn't been seen in a really long time. The one who is quietly sitting there wondering, how much longer can I actually keep carrying this? Listen, asking that question doesn't mean you're weak. It just means you're being honest. And from what I've learned, honesty is always the place where healing finally finds a place to land. Psalm 34:18 tells us that God is close to the brokenhearted, not standing far off, not waiting for you to get your act together and sort yourself out first. Close, which means that right exactly where you are right now, even wrapped up in all the wondering and all the uncertainty, you are not invisible. Stay with me here, because what we're going to talk about next is going to put a name to something you've been feeling for a while now, but maybe just haven't had the words to explain. So let me name it for you. And I don't mean the surface level version, not that polished, neat little way you'd describe it to a coworker who asks how you're doing in passing. I mean the real thing, the feeling that lives deep underneath all the busyness and only ever bubbles to the surface when the house finally goes quiet. It's that bone-deep exhaustion that a good night's sleep just doesn't fix. It's the reality of waking up and feeling like you're already behind. You're already doing the mental math, already bracing yourself for whatever today is going to demand of you, and your feet haven't even hit the floor yet. It's that constant feeling of pouring yourself out, into your job, into your relationships, into all these responsibilities that never seem to get any smaller, and then looking inward only to realize your own well is running dangerously dry. But you keep pouring anyway, don't you? Because people are counting on you. And honestly, you don't really know how to stop. It's the quiet grief of feeling totally disconnected from the person you used to be. The you who used to laugh a little easier. The one who could dream about the future without immediately calculating what it was going to cost. And buried underneath all of that is this quiet, really painful thought that maybe, just maybe, you've been strong for so long that everybody else has forgotten to check if you're actually okay. I need you to know something right now. God sees that very specific, unique tiredness, not some general idea of exhaustion. Yours. Matthew 11:28 holds this beautiful, tender truth. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Notice he didn't say to come to him once you've recovered. He said to come when you're weary. Come when you're burdened. Come exactly the way you showed up this morning. You don't have to try and shrink down what you're carrying just to make it look acceptable enough to bring to him. Bring all of it. Now, I really need you to lean in and hear this next part carefully, because somewhere along the line, maybe through all the disappointments, through those seasons that looked absolutely nothing like what you prayed for, through all the heavy roles you play, and the losses you've just quietly swallowed, somewhere in the middle of all that mess, you might have started believing a lie. The lie that who you are is entirely defined by what you've survived. You might be thinking that the struggle is your actual identity now, that this deep weariness is just going to be permanent, that this tired, stretched thin, questioning version of yourself sitting here this morning is the truest version of you that exists. But it's not. That heavy weight you've been dragging around, it's just a season. It is not a life sentence. You were never designed to be defined by the hardest chapter of your story. You were designed to move through it. With purpose, with breath still filling your lungs, and hand in hand with a God who has never, not even once, confused your current circumstances for your actual character. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future." Look at the words there. He said, I know. It's present tense. It's active. It's incredibly intentional. That means even on the mornings that feel heavy with uncertainty, there is a very real plan operating just beneath the surface of what your eyes can see. It's a plan that was written long before this tough season ever even started, and it hasn't been abandoned just because you feel too tired to keep going. You are still right in the middle of the story. And this moment, right here, right now, this isn't the ending. This is the turning point. This is the exact moment where you stop rehearsing the weight of it all, and you finally start remembering who you were actually created to be. You are so much stronger than this narrative that's been trying to make you shrink. You are far more resilient than you've been giving yourself credit for. If any of this is resonating with something deep inside of you today, just let it land. Don't rush past this feeling. So let's do something together right now. Not later on. Not tonight after the day is over and the house is quiet again. Right now, in this exact moment, wherever you happen to be. Maybe you're sitting in your car taking a breath before walking into a really hard situation. Or maybe you're just standing in your kitchen holding a mug of coffee that went cold 20 minutes ago. Just right here. I want you to go ahead and close your eyes if you're in a place where you can. And if you can't, that's fine. Just let these words wash over you and move through you slowly. Because this is the part where we stop just talking about the weight, and we actually start letting it go. Father, I come to you this morning and I don't have it all figured out. I'm coming to you with the most honest version of myself, the really tired one, the one who has been holding everything together for so long that my own hands have forgotten what it actually feels like to just rest. I am releasing the anxiety that I woke up with today. I let go of all those conversations I've been endlessly rehearsing in my head. I release all the outcomes I've been desperately trying to control, just because trusting the unknown feels way too vulnerable right now. I release the guilt of feeling like I should be further along in life by now. I let go of the comparison game that quietly whispers that everyone else has something I'm somehow missing. I release the shame that tries to tell me my struggles disqualify me from experiencing your goodness. I release this fake version of strength that was never mine to carry all by myself. And in its place, Lord, I receive your peace. I'm not talking about the kind of peace the world tries to offer. The fragile kind that entirely depends on everything going perfectly right. I want that peace that passes all understanding, the kind that stands guard over my heart even when my circumstances haven't changed one bit yet. I receive the reminder today that I am held by you, that this entire day is already safe in your hands, that I am not walking into this morning as someone who has been abandoned, but as someone who is deeply, permanently, and completely loved. Amen. Philippians 4:7 makes a promise that the peace of God, which totally surpasses all human understanding, will guard your heart and your mind. It doesn't say it will guard them occasionally. It doesn't say conditionally. It just says it will. That kind of peace isn't something you have to manufacture on your own. It's simply something you receive, and you just made the room for it. Take a quiet second with that. Now, you might not feel dramatically, instantly different right in this second, and honestly, that is perfectly okay. Healing doesn't always come like a giant flood. A lot of times, it just starts as a really quiet exhale. Just a slight loosening of the grip you've had on things. Just trust that something real shifted in the atmosphere just now, even if the evidence of it still feels a little subtle. Now, I need you to do something that might feel a little bit unfamiliar. I need you to speak. I don't mean just think about it in your head. I don't mean just feel it quietly in your heart and hope it takes root. I mean, actually open your mouth and say it out loud, even if your voice is barely scraping by above a whisper. Even if a part of you feels kind of silly or strange doing it. Even if the room you're sitting in doesn't exactly feel like the kind of place for big declarations. Say this out loud with me. I am not what tried to break me. I am not the worst thing that has ever happened to me. I am not the panic I felt at 3 a.m. I am not the version of myself that almost gave up. I am not the sum total of my failures, and I am not the weight of my waiting. I am still here. I am still standing. I am still breathing. And that is not a lucky accident. That is undeniable evidence. Listen, there is something so profoundly powerful about finally breaking the pattern of silence, about intentionally interrupting that negative internal narrative that has been running completely unchallenged in the background for way too long. The enemy of your peace isn't always loud and aggressive. Sometimes it operates really quietly, just using repetition. It just feeds you the same diminishing, exhausting story on an endless loop until you eventually stop questioning whether it's even true. But today, you are interrupting that loop. Romans 8:37 spells it out so plainly. In all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. Not after the battle is over. Not once the season finally improves. In all these things. Right smack in the middle of the difficulty. Right inside the confusion and the exhaustion and the deep uncertainty. You are already positioned as someone who overcomes. That isn't just fluffy motivational language. That is your actual spiritual reality. And if this morning is starting to stir something awake inside of you, if these words are somehow reaching a place in your heart that hasn't felt light in a really long time, I want to personally invite you to stay connected to this space. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet, and turn on your notifications. Because what you just received today shouldn't just be a one-time, fleeting moment. It's meant to be the beginning of a daily practice, a daily habit of returning to the truth before the rest of the world even gets a chance to have its say. You deserve that kind of consistency, not just for today, but every single morning. You've really come a long way this morning. Just think about that for a second. You arrived here carrying something so heavy, and through every single word, every thought, every deep breath, you didn't close this out. You didn't just casually scroll past. You stayed. And that is not a small thing. That is your courage showing up for you before it even really felt like courage. And now, I want to take all of that, everything you've just released, everything you've boldly declared, that quiet internal shift that began just a few moments ago and grew into the powerful declaration we just made together. And I want to build it into something tangible that you can actually carry with you into your day. Because the real test is never actually in the quiet moment of prayer. The real test is in the hallway right after. It's in that upcoming meeting. It's in that difficult conversation you've been dreading all week. It's in that exact moment when the fresh peace you just received gets bumped and jostled by the very first hard thing the morning decides to throw at you. That's where your courage actually has to live. Not just in the warm feeling, but in the gritty decision to keep moving forward anyway. So let's pray that specific kind of courage into your day right now. Father, as I get ready to step back out into the world today, into all the responsibilities, all the relationships, and all the rooms that are going to require something out of me, I am asking that you would go before me. In the moments where I am tempted to shrink back, please remind me of exactly who I am. Where I am tempted to just react out of fear or stress, slow me down and anchor me deeply in your peace. When I start to feel totally alone in whatever I'm navigating, let me sense your presence so clearly and specifically that I absolutely cannot mistake it for a coincidence. Give me the raw courage to be honest when I need to ask for help. Give me the wisdom to choose my battles really carefully today. And give me the grace to extend to other people the exact same grace that you have so freely poured out on me this morning. And Lord, when the day gets overwhelmingly loud, when the noise of life tries to completely drown out everything I just received in this quiet space, bring me back. Use a single breath. Use a whispered reminder. Do whatever it takes to keep my heart tethered to yours. I'm going out now, not relying on my own exhausted strength, but entirely in yours. Amen. Joshua 1:9 carries this exact commission forward for us. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Wherever you go today. Into that really hard conversation. Into that exhausting, long shift at work. Into that completely unknown outcome that you've been quietly carrying anxiety about. He goes with you. He's not just trailing behind you, crossing his fingers and hoping you manage to get through it. He is already present in every single room you haven't even walked into yet. That is the kind of courage that doesn't depend on how well rested you feel when you wake up. It depends entirely on who is walking right beside you when you do. So, this is where I send you off. And I'm not sending you off with some long, exhausting list of things you need to accomplish. I'm not handing you any pressure to perform, or produce, or prove your worth to anybody today. I'm just sending you with this one, simple, sacred commission. Go out there and just be present. Be fully, intentionally present. Present in your own body. Present in your conversations with others. Present in those tiny, quiet moments between all the demands, because that's usually where God speaks the loudest. Honestly, the absolute greatest, most practical action you can take after a morning exactly like this one is to just firmly refuse to sleepwalk through whatever comes next. You have been reminded of who you truly are today. You have finally released what was never yours to carry all by yourself. You have prayed real courage into your steps before the day even had a chance to try and talk you out of it. Now, you just need to live from that place. Lamentations 3:22-23 leaves us with this incredibly gentle certainty. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. New every single morning. They aren't recycled from yesterday's batch. They aren't rationed out based on how badly last week went. They are fresh. They are waiting for you. They were already prepared for you before you even opened your eyes today. That is exactly what you walked into today. And tomorrow, when the weight inevitably tries to settle right back onto your shoulders before your feet even touch the floor, I want you to come right back here. Let this space become your morning practice, your daily habit of returning to the truth. If this message moved something inside of you today, do me a favor and leave a comment below just saying, "I received it." That small, simple act of declaring it matters so much more than you know. Now go. You are so much more ready for this day than you feel right now. And please remember, you are never, ever alone.